We're going to do a short video on this topic which now explains why many people with cancer declined during the COVID-19 pandemic. The p53 protein was discovered in 1979, and it is known to regulate some 500 different gene pathways, making it an important factor in cancer. In fact, it's called the tumor suppressor protein, and it both protects and repairs our DNA so that it can't become cancerous. p53 proteins also appear to have a beneficial effect in decreasing replication of tumor cells, and these proteins are expressed in the absence of stress. Consider that mitochondria contain 37 different genes, and many of these particular genes are delicate and easily damaged, but p53 can cross into the mitochondria and return it to stability, so the efficacy of p53 could well extend beyond tumor suppression, since the mitochondria are the powerhouses of our bodies. Studies have shown that over 50% of cancers have mutated TP53 genes, which produce the p53 protein, which suggests an extremely strong connection, and the mutations appear to be linked to toxin exposure. So many toxins in our environment damage these genes, which compromises our bodies' protection against cancer proliferation. Also, p53 mutations are associated with a lot of different types of cancers, from liver cancer to breast cancer to brain cancer and beyond, so it appears to have a causal relationship in numerous different cancers. The p53 protein is known as the guardian of the genome due to its ability to detect and respond to cellular stress. We have been studying it for a long time with around 80,000 research papers written on it, but no cure. However, researchers have found that if a person can get their p53 production working properly, that the tumor cells don't dissolve. They go back to the state that the cells were in before they became malignant. This was learned in pancreatic cancer studies, and is an amazing example of how the human body has the ability to revert back to conditions prior to disease. The researchers said that it was like the cancer cells had essentially gone back in time, so this is a pretty significant ability which nobody seems to be talking about. Now listen to this one. Dr. Lowe, who has been working on p53 research since the 1990s, showed that the effectiveness of radiation and chemotherapy depended in large part on p53, which triggers cell death automatically when it identifies DNA damage. Basically, not only does it stop the reproduction of malignant cells, but it activates the autophage system, which is like the cleanup crew that cleans up dead and damaged cells. Now this makes me think, if the drugs and allopathic treatment relies on the presence of this protein, why aren't we researching ways to increase p53 in the body, rather than studying its ability to augment drugs? Well, there's been a lot of ongoing research on ways to make new p53 or activate damaged p53. Big Pharma has been working on developing drugs that alter p53 pathways, but nothing is available yet, as it's been said that acceleration of 53 production will result in premature cell death. Isn't it amazing how Big Pharma always invents a cure that causes more problems? This is why I believe in aligning with the tempo of nature, which is slower but safer than chemicals, so I looked into how we might increase p53 production, and it turns out that there's a widely acclaimed p53 diet which I found online. Basically, it's a clean whole food vegan diet with no animal products, processed foods, sugary drinks, or trans fats. I really hate to keep harping on this, guys, but I'm not looking for ways to turn you vegan. That is each person's choice. I'm just reporting what I find, and this p53 diet, as it's called, is consistent with Dr. Colin Campbell's China study, which showed that we can turn off cancer cells with a vegan diet. Further, both of these are consistent with the alkaline diet, which recommends fresh fruits and vegetables to keep the body at an optimal pH level. So the evidence mounts on why we should cut down on animal products and eat lots of dark green veggies and fruits. But now we know at least one reason why, and the evidence is solid. Now we know that increasing this p53 protein is the mechanism behind it all, which has shown to halt cancer growth in our bodies. Of course, it's never as simple as just eating more veggies or taking a pill. Any effort to turn on p53 proteins must go hand in hand with removing the toxins that created the cancer to begin with. Please understand that I'm not saying to see a physician if you have cancer, because I would myself, but I would also make massive dietary changes, because there is absolutely no rational cause that's stronger than the diet connection. Specifically, today's average diet of highly processed foods. Patricia Crosby has asked me to do a video about the healthiest way to incorporate meat into our diet, and I have to say that for many vegetarians or vegans who have a diet full of processed fake meat, it might be wiser to have a little meat every now and then, rather than those frankenfoods which are loaded with harmful ingredients. So I'll be looking into the whole meat issue again. What they give the animals and what their bodies metabolize it into. I'll also objectively look at which metabolites actually get to you by consuming it. Until then, pump up the veggies and the fruits. A great way to get your veggies and fruit is to juice them. You can get a lot of nutrition packed into 1 cup. Until next time, take care of your body, guys, and you will be amazed at how it's designed to take care of you.